What started as a handful of volunteers is now Sharsheret, the National Jewish Breast and Ovarian Cancer Community, a premier national organization and leader in the cancer community for cultural relevance support and a model for others. 2 decades since its founding, Sharsheret's impact is diverse and inclusive.
Sharsheret is here to help in every step of the way.
For patients and caregivers, Sharsheret increases access to care through free virtual mental health services, patient navigation, and genetic counseling. Support is available at all stages, before, during, and after diagnosis, as well as for those living with advanced cancer.
One of the biggest things from a Sharsheret perspective was just to be able to connect with other women with advanced cancer, because you don't really get it until you get it.
Sharsheret distributes $400,000 to $500,000 to low-income patients annually for non-medical services.
I felt like a person. Something feels just a little bit normal.
As an expert in the field, Sharsheret partners with major medical centers, government agencies, and social service agencies, training and educating healthcare professionals. In the community, Sharsheret saves lives through virtual and in-person educational programming for both women and men of all ages, from high school and college campuses to synagogues and community organizations, empowering each person to take control of their health.
The most important thing I learned is that you absolutely must be proactive about your health.
Over the last 2 years, Sharsheret served over 85% more patients and caregivers than in prior years. We need your partnership to ensure Sharsheret can meet this ever-growing demand.
To be able to be a part of the Sharsheret network, to pay that, is tremendously empowering.
Become a Sharsheret supporter so we can be here for this generation and the next, facing breast cancer and ovarian cancer.
You can still enjoy life day by day.
At some point in your life, you or someone you love will need Sharsheret. Now is the time to act, to step up. Be part of the Sharsheret movement today and join our forces in Tikkun Olam, repairing the world, securing a healthier future for the Jewish community and beyond.
Please welcome Sharsheret Board President Stacy Schwartz.
Welcome to Sharsheret's Coming Together Summer Barbecue. A special welcome and thank you to Joy Goldsmith and Amanda Goldsmith-Fine, who we recognize this evening, our special guest speaker, Maya Bernstein, and Dr. Robert Alter, who led us in this evening's CM service. We have so many to thank this evening. Our corporate sponsors, King's Pharmacy, Maidenbaum Property Tax Reduction Group, Merck, Pfizer Oncology, Cross River, AZI, Lilly Oncology, Medishore Pharmacy, and Citadel Healthcare. Thank you to the devoted event chairs and committee for making tonight such a meaningful success. Thank you to our Jewel Circle members, those who commit to Sharsheret annually with gifts of $5,000 or more. You will notice some of us wearing Sharsheret gold necklaces, exclusive gifts to our jewels, and a way for all of us to raise awareness as Sharsheret ambassadors. To our incredible staff, especially our CEO, Alana Silber, along with Galit Reichlin, Ellen Kleinhaus, Jordana Altman, and Dina Muskin-Goldberg. To my colleagues on the Sharsheret boards who are here tonight, you can clap for them too. I'm just kidding. And to you, everyone who was in this room tonight, We are so grateful to each and every one of you for joining us in supporting thousands of Jewish women, men, and families at risk or living with breast or ovarian cancer. Applause again. We have all just experienced two of the hardest years in memory. 2 years of isolation where we haven't had the opportunity to gather together. For those going through cancer, this experience has been even more devastating. Tonight, as we come together in person for the first time, we begin this evening's program with a meaningful message from a very distinguished Sharsheret ambassador. Our guest speaker tonight is the founding co-director of Georgetown University's Institute for Transformational Leadership Certificate in Facilitation. On the faculty of the Masa Leadership Center in Jerusalem and Yeshivat Maharat, she created an original album of Jewish music, and her first collection of poems, There Is No Place Without You, is forthcoming in September from Ben Yehuda Press. She has led spiritual programming for the women of Sharsheret. Please join me in welcoming the inspiring Maya Bernstein.
Thank you so much, Stacy. I feel so grateful to be here. I would like to honor the bravery and the suffering of the women and families currently enduring treatment by reading and sharing 2 poems that I wrote from my own experience. The first is called Choose Your Own Adventure. Remember those books? Choose Your Own Adventure. Page 1. Nothing before page 2 matters anyway, so turn to page 2. Page 2. One night in the shower, in the summer, you caress your own breast and find a wad of hardened chewing gum under the skin. If you choose to ignore it, turn to page 13. If you decide to call your doctor and look into it before your scheduled flight to Israel, turn to page 21. Page 13, you begin dreaming of ancestors you've never met. Every night, one after one, they approach you in a dark room. They sound like howling wind. They introduce themselves. I am your great, 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 great grandmother. They say things like, the apple pie is hot. Slice it in half and fork out the cinnamon speckled apples. This is not a good dream. You wake up in a sweat. If you decide to call your doctor, turn to page 21. If you decide to start a dream journal and learn to bake apple pie, turn to page 64. Page 21, the doctor keeps you waiting for an hour. If you decide to leave, go home, write in your dream journal, and bake a pie, turn to page 64. If you decide to wait to be examined, turn to page 22. Page 22. When she finally sees you, the doctor does not apologize for keeping you waiting. In fact, you apologize for wasting her time. You say things like, I should probably go home and bake a pie. She turns her cheek when she fingers your flesh, then sends you for an immediate mammogram. The mammographer sends you for an immediate biopsy. The radiologist tells you to cancel your trip. Turn to page 43 if you schedule surgery. If you decide to ignore the doctor, to start keeping a dream journal, to popularize apple pie in Israel, turn to page 64. Page 43. After your surgery, when you can't lift your arms or open a door or drive or pull a shirt over your head or lie flat in bed, your oncologist, who originally had said you wouldn't need chemo, now says you can choose between 2 kinds. One kind with side effects that might result in death by heart attack, the other kind with side effects that might result in death by a different cancer, for example, leukemia. If you choose leukemia, turn to page 89. If you choose heart attack, turn to page 72. If you choose to start a dream journal while shoveling bite after bite of apple pie into your moaning mouth, turn to page 64. Page 64, you relocate to Tel Aviv, eat pashtida and feta cheese, bite into whole warm tomatoes, swim in the Rockabye Sea. You sleep at night until you don't. Page 72, every few days, alarmed, you Google early symptoms of heart attack and think of Whitman's hug of mortality. Page 89, you make it to Israel, but you're exhausted. Do you ignore it? Is your oncologist still alive? Do you open wide the windows, let in the ocean air, its salty fingers turning the pages of the book you left open on the white sheets as you stood to look at the waves, the wind? Will you wait to see which page stays unmoving, which page becomes your trembling destiny? The second poem is called The Archetype. It begins with a quote from Marilyn Hacker's work. I am tired of terror and despair and having to be brave. I want the dull work days and nights of unexceptional, unmarked life with eyelashes and hair. I am tired of the terror, the despair, the having to be brave. I want a dull, unmarked life with eyelashes and hair. I want days and I want nights. I want the unexceptional. I don't want to have to be brave. I want dull mornings, honey tea with milk, dishes in the sink. I want days and nights filled with unexceptional problems, like lost keys or pens run out of ink. Not like that morning, tea untouched by the sink when the phone rang. It was the doctor. As she explained the results, I rummaged through drawers of keys to find a pen with ink to record the oncotype. I was numb to the pain of that phone call. No doctor could explain what might result in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or tomorrow. The unexpected oncotype meant mind-numbing pain, my chest seared, my memory the mark of Cain. What might befall me in 5 years, 10, or tomorrow interrupts my work, my love, my sleep. My chest beats with the memory of my own warm milk, but I won't let myself weep, my love. I'll keep working, though my interrupted sleep will never be free of terror or despair. I'll pile milky dishes in the sink. I won't weep, I won't, but don't be fooled into thinking mine is an unmarked life with eyelashes and hair. With prayers and hope for all those who are ill and struggling, with gratitude to everyone who offers love and care to the women and families navigating these illnesses, with appreciation for and deep recognition of the supportive role Sharsheret plays for those diagnosed with breast or ovarian cancer and their loved ones, and with enduring faith that together we can heal. Thank you.
Please welcome Sharsheret Treasurer Batya Paul.
Maya, thank you for sharing so personally. You've touched us all deeply with your inspiring words. Tonight, you've had a glimpse into how thousands of women and men benefit from Sharsheret's free and confidential emotional support, mental health counseling, and life-saving education. You learned about how the $500,000 that we give away each year in financial subsidies changes lives. We know that there is more to be done for those who still need our help. Tonight, we have a very special opportunity. Sharsheret was awarded a significant challenge match from a Jewish foundation. For Sharsheret to complete this challenge, we have to raise another $50,000. So now, I turn to all of you and ask for you to help make us meet that match. Don't kill me. On behalf of my husband, Nachman, and I, we're going to make the first gift tonight of $18,000. So whether you've already made a gift or tonight will be your first, whether you can give $180, $1,800, or $18,000, or choose tonight to become a member of our Jewel Circle with gifts of $5,000 or more, do all that you can, and even a little bit more. You can do this right now by taking out your phones and texting 22BBQ to the number 44321 and follow the instructions. Again, text 22BBQ to the number 44321. And together, I am fully confident that this room will help us make the match, changing lives one family at a time. Thank you.
Please welcome Sharsheret CEO, Alana Silber.
Thank you, Batya and Nachman. Wow. And thank you to each one of you. Tonight, we recognize Joy Goldsmith and Amanda Goldsmith-Fine. Two exceptional women who have taken action and stepped up, serving as role models for all of us. They are continuously involved with Sharsheret volunteer efforts. Amanda is an active young professional and makes a donation to Sharsheret every single month. And Joy supports other women going through the breast cancer journey, and along with her husband, Michael, is a member of Sharsheret's Jewel Circle year after year. Please turn your attention to the screen for their inspiring story.
It was Sunday morning. I got a text from my dad. It was relatively early to get a text from him. I had a pit in my stomach. It wasn't until after I hung up the phone with my parents when I started to process what this truly meant.
I found out I had breast cancer when I went for a routine mammography and ultrasound. I was really petrified, just petrified.
It shook me to my core. I had a sister in Israel, I had a sister in Boston. I was in New York, but it was a tag you're it moment, and you transform from a 22-year-old college student to a caregiver, to a listener, to a supporter.
I think the hardest thing as a mother is to all of a sudden be in a position where your children now feel that they have to do for you. That change, I'm no longer the strong one. I'm no longer the one providing support for my daughter. That's really hard. That was really hard.
After hanging up the phone the day that my parents told me about my mom's diagnosis, even though I was surrounded with friends, I had never felt so alone in my entire life. Not having anyone to turn to who had gone through the same thing, that was one of the hardest parts of the entire experience for me. I made a promise to myself that I would never let another child or college student feel as alone as I was feeling at the time. And that was when I reached out to Sharsheret and asked to help me in creating a student board in the downtown college community in order to create awareness for breast and ovarian cancer and to serve as a resource for kids whose parents were just diagnosed with breast cancer.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer on September 27th of 2017, and I didn't know what to do with the information. I couldn't sleep that night. And I ended up going on Facebook, which is what I would usually do when I can't sleep. And I saw a post from Amanda Goldsmith. I picked up the phone and I called Joy.
To be able to have ultimately provided the support and come full circle and to become the strong one in this chain, it was really empowering for me, and I was so glad to be there for Aviva.
She was wonderful, and I don't think I could have done it without her.
Being able to see my mom go from this position of fear, terror, and crying most days to being able to be strong and supportive and there for someone else truly captured what Sharsheret's mission is.
There's no better way for a mother to feel incredible pride in her daughter for taking something bad and turning it into something good.
it was always a mission to just help someone in whatever capacity you can, because helping someone just a little bit really ultimately does help change their entire world.
The story doesn't end there. Taking Amanda's cue and thinking outside themselves, thinking of other families going through the cancer journey, the Goldsmiths embody Sharsheret mission to improve lives and to save lives. It is now my honor to call upon Joy, Michael, and Amanda for an exciting announcement.
Unfortunately, Joy's story, our family's story, is not unique. From the initial numbing news of diagnosis through the hurdles of surgery, chemo, and radiation, it is clear that even the strongest among us need support in ways they never imagined. It truly takes a village to help navigate the twists and turns of cancer until, with God's help, one can hear the words, "You are cancer-free." Many from our personal village are here tonight, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, as we will forever be indebted to each and every one of you. Adversity often brings opportunity, and tonight we are humbled and proud to announce the launch of a critical new resource and program for the next-gen Sharsheret community, the Jewish community, and the cancer community as a whole. We have worked closely with Sharsheret this past year to address the urgent concerns of young adults and adolescents like our own children, Amanda, Melissa, and Jennifer, who experience firsthand the challenges and emotional impact of seeing their mom live with and ultimately conquer cancer. Tonight, we establish and dedicate YAD, the Young Adult Caring Corner at Sharsheret. Yes, a hand in the chain. Not only will YAD provide much-needed guidance on how to navigate a loved one's cancer journey, it will also feature a compassionate peer support through a buddy system and reliable information that will empower the next generation to take control of their own health for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joy, Michael, and Amanda. And thank you all for joining the Sharsheret movement tonight.